1 million subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I couldn't have done this without fans like you, the massive group of friends and family that helped me run this business, and the power of social media like YouTube and Facebook. As a thank you to all of our subscribers and fans, we'll be bringing you a series of top 10 videos highlighting the craziest moments we've captured over the past 13 years of 1320 Video's history. 1320 Video started as a hobby of mine actually, and remained a hobby until I quit my full-time career of 10 years at PayPal this January. 1320 Video has taken my obsession for capturing the craziest moments in the racing world and sharing it with as many people as I can. And with your help, it's grown to a level I could never imagine. To kick off this series of top 10 videos, I wanted to share with you the top 10 moments in the past 13 years in chronological order. First big moment I remember in 1320 Video history, a lot of people have this one in mind, is Parrish's blue turbo pickup, and that thing was the craziest sleeper street racing monster. The truck consisted of a single turbo 4.8 originally, 700, 800 horsepower. He just kept tweaking it, ended up being in the 900 horsepower range, and then he threw a pair of twin turbos on his 408 setup and cranked it up to almost 1100 horsepower. He managed to click off a 10.04 in the quarter, which doesn't seem fast today with thousands of turbo pickups out there, but back in 2003 this thing was the ultimate sleeper. We'd pull up next to a nitrous Fox body, leave him by about 10 cars at the light, and he'd have his jaw on the ground. No idea what hit him.
How much you want to put on this?
He said 500. If he wants to go for 1,000, we can go for 1,000.
The next moment I remember, right around the same time we were filming Parrish's pickup, our friend WRX was racing this Z06 Corvette in the street for $500. Our friend drugged this Z06 so bad, the guy was so mad that he didn't want to pay up. And to make matters worse, he punched our friend in the face. We took the argument to a parking lot. Somebody called in a tip that our friend had a gun in his car. The cops show up, canines scratching up cars, searching everything. It was just a mess. So I make a video, it goes so viral that it takes down the internet in our dorms that I was staying in for college because my website was hosted in the dorm rooms. And my friend calls me up and says, you know why the internet's down? Your video has gone so viral that we don't have internet right now. That's when I knew I was onto something and it was time to take it to the next level. Next on the list, Hot Rod Magazine's Drag Week, one of many events we filmed today. This is actually my favorite legal event that we film. Our friend Parrish, once again, asked me to go on Drag Week 2005, and I wasn't really that interested in it, but I wanted to film his pickup, and it sounded pretty cool the way he was describing it. When I showed up, I was instantly hooked. Looking at the cars that showed up, they were just crazy unique builds, nothing I've ever seen before. And it was going to be a great week, I could tell. I asked David Freiberger, editor-in-chief of Hot Rod at the time, what they had planned for live coverage, and he told me they weren't really doing any live coverage, they were just shooting for the magazine sometime in January. So I asked him if it would be okay if I just blasted Drag Week coverage all over the message boards that I was on. This was my social media at the time, and he said he didn't have any problem with it. So this is when we locked in our coverage of Drag Week and became known as the place to go for Drag Week coverage until Hot Rod started doing live coverage. After the 5-day drag racing journey, driving 1,000+ miles with all these crazy cars, I was really hooked to this event. We've been filming it for 8 or 9 years now. We've missed a few here and there, mainly because I had my day job to be accountable for, but this is still our favorite legal event and we love it. This year there's over 300 cars that showed up. It was just hard to keep track of it all, but it's a great place for us to find unique, crazy street cars. This is the bread and butter of what we do. Shortly after the first drag week, I realized that shooting photos and video by myself for the first few years didn't really make sense, and driving 3 or 4 hours to events by myself was kind of boring. So I brought my friend Kyle, aka Skunk Shots, to be the first team of 1320 Video. He was shooting photos, I was shooting video. This is what evolved 1320 Video closer into what it is today. If you see us at events, you'll notice that we have a big presence. Everyone at the event's our friend. If we haven't been at the event before, we love becoming a part of the event, becoming ingrained in the culture, knowing the people, knowing the drivers, and telling the stories of what it is like to be at the event. The thing a lot of people don't know is that 1320 Video is just a big group of friends. We're all a big family of friends that love cars I've met throughout the years, and it's just evolved into a group of 30, 40, 50 friends that jump in here and there to help with photos, with videos, with selling merchandise. It's a great team. You might have heard of Street Outlaws if you're a street racer. Did you know that we actually filmed them back in 2006? We were invited to a St. Louis street race, which actually ended up being a bust. It was a $1,000 buy-in, 10 cars, lots of Dallas cars, some East Coast cars, Chicago cars, all converged. We got 2 street races done. Boosted GT oiled down the road, and then the cop showed up at the 4th spot that we tried. But what this did was introduced us to a whole new realm of street racing. We're used to just grudge racing, having fun. These guys throw money on the line because they've got some pretty crazy cars. In St. Louis, we met Limpy, Boosted GT, Monza, Daddy Dave, Student Driver, and these are some connections that built some of the greatest friendships that we've got in the street racing world. The Street Outlaws TV show has helped our friends to do something that they love on a scale they could never imagine, just like me with 1320 Video. And it's done nothing but great things for street car racing around the world, around the US. It's just blown up, and that's what we love. Unique street cars that defines 1320 Video, so we love it. Fast forwarding a few years, 2010, my friend Josh in Omaha here kept coming back from this event down in Houston every spring, just could not shut up about how crazy it was. And we're always looking for the place or the event to go to find the craziest, most unique stuff in the world. And this was the place. We went down to TX2K in 2010, and my friend Josh was right. The level of cars that showed up, the level of street races, the environment was nothing like we ever experienced. This is the street racing Super Bowl around the world. So in 2010, we headed down to Houston for our first year at TX2K, and Josh was right. The level of cars, the speed, the power, this was insane. This was the perfect place for us to find the crazy cars that we love to film. Pairing up with TX2K has helped to grow that event and grow our channel at the same time. 2012, we had crazy events that happened. Our page blew up. TX2K created a whole new name for itself, and it brought things to a whole new level. TX2K proved to be the Super Bowl of street racing from around the world. Not to mention a lot of the other events that we filmed that have a huge concentration of cars that we love to film. King of the Streets, No Prep, started filming that back in 2009. Texas Invitational, some of the craziest roll race cars in the world. A lot of them came from TX2K12, the street racers that didn't want to play on the street anymore, upwards of 200 miles an hour as well. And then Streetcar Takeover, a huge traveling event that we filmed this year. Lots of crazy street cars that show up there. It just works out great for content. The next big moment in 1320 Video history is one of the craziest feature cars we've filmed, not just because of the car, but because of how viral this car went. The 3DX Evo, a car built locally, our friend Chase, we followed him around when he was building it. When he took it to the dyno, his goal was to break the Evo record for horsepower, and he did that right away. We were trying to think of unique things to do with the car, and back then these girls riding in fast cars videos were really popular. So we put a whole new twist on it, and you may have seen this video on Good Morning America. I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube, of our friend's mom driving this car, banging through the gears at over 100 miles an hour, and this video ended up on Good Morning America only 10 hours after I put it on YouTube. It just blew my mind, the level that we had gotten. I put the video up on a PayPal work trip in Baltimore about 10 o'clock at night. I wake up in the morning, my phone is full of texts saying, look at the news, your video's on Good Morning America. This video propelled our YouTube channel to a level we had never seen before. You see the spike on this picture? That's from the mom video. Thank you, Good Morning America. Speaking of viral stats, in propelling 1320 Video, the next moment related to Facebook, back in 2012, we were leaving for TX2K, and a couple days before I opened the Facebook app, and the new update had a button on it that said, share photo. And this might not seem that revolutionary, but at the time you couldn't put photos on your fan pages without getting onto a computer and uploading through your computer. Before we left for TX2K12 in 2012, we had 2,700 fans. After the event, we were somewhere in the 9,000 range. At the end of December, we hit 30,000, which was just crazy to me. My goal at that point was, by the end of 2014, we would hit 100,000 fans, and that was a big goal. I knew we were going to have to work hard for it. In March of 2013, when TX2K came around, we were around 50,000, and then right before we were leaving for Drag Week, we saw our stats were right around the 92,000 range, and we knew with the live coverage we were going to be doing, this would get us to 100,000. On Friday, the last day of Drag Week at Bowling Green, Kentucky, I'm up in the tower, watching our stats, trying to get a screenshot of the 100,000 mark. 99,900, 99,950, and here's the moment, 100,000. We had done it, and it was months before my goal. I was just blown away. This is where things get weird. I wake up the next morning and we're 105,000 somehow. We'd grown 5,000 likes overnight. The next day I look at it, we're 120,000, and I didn't know what was going on. By November of 2013, we hit 1 million fans, which was just mind-blowing. We started gaining fans at 30,000, 40,000 a day, and we had no idea why. But we loved it because we could just share what we were filming and love with that many more people. Fast forward to December 2014, a year after my goal of 100,000, we're at 2 million fans, and as of today, we're just over 2.9 million. And this just allows us to share everything we do with so many people around the world, and we love it, and we thank Facebook for that ability. I know I said top 10, but I'm going to throw an extra one in here chronologically. I mentioned that I left PayPal earlier this year, and that was a huge moment for me. I loved my job, I loved the people I worked with, but I couldn't balance both of them. I was filming all weekend, and PayPal allowed me to work from the car on Friday driving to the event, and then on the way back Monday driving back home. And balancing those two just wasn't possible anymore. I couldn't do either of them the way that I wanted to. So I left my job after 9.5 years to take 1320 Video full time because I knew it would be needed to take 1320 Video to the next level this year.
God damn, I love America.
After filming all day, we went to Walmart to get some supplies, and our friend Garrett, aka Cletus, who actually runs all our social media, walks out of the store with this ugly, goofy Chevy shirt. We get back to the hotel and we're tired and delirious and just screwing around. We tear the sleeves off with our bare hands with the power of bald eagles. And this is when Cletus McFarland is born. He says a bunch of goofy stuff. We're always filming Garrett because he does weird random stuff to text to our friends or whatever. After we film the stuff he does in front of Tom Bailey's 3,000 horsepower Camaro, we can't stop laughing. I'm in tears. We just had to put it online. So we spliced a few things together, put it up, and the next morning it's at 500,000 views. This is when Cletus McFarland's born. A few months later, we're hanging out at my house, and Garrett's just fiending to bring Cletus back, getting his goofy character and just screwed around. So he tells me he's gonna take my car out, doesn't really tell me why, and he comes back with a lawnmower, of all things. A lot of this stuff is staged, but a lot of the little pieces in there are not, and I was just cracking up. We did do a test for the lawnmower to make sure it worked. It was my lawnmower, but all the random stuff he threw in between was just hilarious. And I had to try really hard to be angry because that's not me. But you'll be seeing a lot more Cletus. We just put up a video from SEMA. The guy's hilarious. Make sure to check him out. Last but not least, the craziest event we have ever filmed. One of my biggest bucket list items. We flew over to Stockholm, Sweden, for the craziest street race in the world. I've been seeing videos of this since 2005 or earlier, and I knew I needed to go there one day. With the help of some of our friends over in Stockholm, we flew over. They were awesome hosts. We toured all the shops in Stockholm before the big race, the Stockholm Open, and we got a chance to get a preview of what we were going to see. The Stockholm Open is the Super Bowl of street racing in Stockholm. In Sweden, there's 3 different street racing series with 3 different races per series. And so they're running all year cash day style events. The Stockholm Open brings all of the craziest racers from those and throws them into the pot. We'd like to thank all of our friends over in Sweden for the experience and letting us come over there and welcoming us into their world and giving us access to anything that we wanted. It was the craziest experience I have ever had in the racing world. I was sweating, I was shaking, I just had an adrenaline rush for 8 to 10 hours during the event. It was nothing I've ever experienced. Thank you once again for 1 million subscribers. Hopefully this video is giving you a cool look into the background of where we've been. If you're not a part of those 1 million subscribers, click here so you can join us for the rest of our crazy adventures.